Hey, I have a project I want to launch into on the bee yard, but it's not. This episode's not so much about as it is about the project, as it is about my resource piles, aka junk piles. Every home has a junk drawer. Every homestead has a junk pile. I'm going to talk about my junk. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I invited you guys in on this episode because, you know what, I like to be transparent with the viewers because I really do want to be honest and upfront with you guys to let you know that it's like I'm just like you. You guys have a junk drawer or a catch-all drawer in your home. Let's call it a resource drawer. You don't know what else to do with this little oddball item, so you just throw it into that little drawer in your kitchen. Usually it's a top drawer that's kind of really handy to grab stuff. May have batteries, may have pins, a lighter or matches, a lot of nuts and bolts. Yeah, that drawer. I don't have so much as a drawer as I have little piles here and there around the homestead. I'm sure a lot of farms and homesteads, in fact, every farm and homestead has a pile like this. But for me, I have 4 piles. Yeah. I've got this pile here, which is a door and windows, and I plan on taking at least the windows up to the stockpile that I'm going to be creating for building the tree house, because I'm going to put these big old huge windows in, along with this beautiful door that my friends gave me. We're going to be installing that on the tree house, but I want to get them from here and over there to up there to centralize the location, because I also have a bathtub I'm ripping out, and I'm going to be putting that up there too, instead of creating another resource pile or adding to the resource pile. Yeah, this is going bye-bye, by the way. Don't want this, don't need it. I got it from estate cleanup, but the rest of it I'm just going to put in my resource pile and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, here's another resource pile out behind my greenhouse. I'm storing the rain barrels out here. This is going to be a suitable place for them, but with all these estate cleanups I've been invited to do, I'm accumulating a variety of different extra stuff, so I'll be selling them. And what I got here is I have a push mower that actually I purchased this from Walmart end of season for, I think I paid brand new lawnmower out of the garden department end of season. I think I paid $27.50 for this. That is a bargain. So there's a hint for you. Rototiller got free from a friend who actually, the motor was toast on it. So I bought a new motor, sharpened the tines, put new belts on it, and got some videos posted on my YouTube channel about that. Got a cedar feeder, lawn cedar feeder from a pal who was moving, so he sold it to me for really cheap. A wheelbarrow got from estate cleanup, this little trailer that tows behind one of the lawnmowers. I got that from estate cleanup. And there's a porta potty that's going into the boat that was just given to me. Yes, folks, I got a boat given to me. So we're gonna do a restoration on the boat. And yes, I just got an RV given to me too. Projects. We'll just do it one at a time. I'll post them and let you guys see what's going on. But this is my other resource pile. And here is yet another resource pile. Yeah, this one's scattered about a little bit, but it's right there in that spot. I worked the next 2 days. So I'm off the next 4 days after that. I'm going to be focusing on finishing my project with the master bathroom and getting that done, and moving my resource pile into one spot. All this is tin and roofing and metal pipes. The metal pipes are for building the tree house. The tin are for a variety of different projects that may come up or that I may imagine, which leads me to this project I want to do in the bee yard. So to help you guys imagine in your mind's eye my vision for what I want to build in the bee yard, is as I was looking at the beehives and thinking ahead and getting these bees ready for winter. Yeah, we're barely into spring, and I'm thinking about winter. I have to think ahead on this, because what do I need to do now for the bees to protect them and help them survive winter better? I went online, I looked at a variety of different websites and seen what people were doing in other countries: Slovakia, Yugoslavia, Russia, Europe, Canada. I want to see how they are, what methods they came up with for winterizing their bees. And I was inspired by some interesting little buildings that they created. So with that inspiration, I thought about my resource piles and the stuff I had in them, and I thought, you know what, I can utilize the metal and the material in my resource pile and build this little structure that I imagined. This is a drawing of the structure I quickly drew out yesterday, and all it is just a little lean-to shed shelter. One side's open, the other sides are actually enclosed and insulated with styrofoam. And then I'm going to coat the styrofoam on the inside with something. Haven't decided what yet, but I plan on putting it up here, but using my little bee barn over here. As you see in the picture, you see one end of it has that bee on it. Well, that will be the bee barn turned sideways, and off the back of the bee barn will be built the structure to hold 2 layers of bee hives. I plan on splitting these hives as they grow and making some nucleuses, so I can sell nucleuses and recover my cost from my investment into these bees, and hopefully eventually start getting a profit. So these bees were resourced locally. These were actual nucleuses that I acquired, and then these should fare out through winter, along with my intervention on making the bees a little bit more comfortable and warmer, and then just feeding. We'll get into those videos. Watch the beekeeping videos here on the Homestead, and my buddy Ken Muhlestein will be inputting some other valuable information. He's a master beekeeper. So this is my project I had imagined, but let's continue. We got one last resource pile to show you guys and show you the resources I have in that pile. Yep, this is another resource pile. I'm hiding behind the barn, but this will be the master resource pile on where I'm relocating everything. The windows, the door, the other metal from down there, and all the other bits and pieces I have laying around the homestead. We're just gonna stack it neatly here and maybe cover it and protect it, and try to make it look, halfway decent and accessible, so I can resource them for whatever project. So here you have more metal, leftover metal from building the barn and the tractor barn. Plus, I resourced some metal from an estate cleanup. This is roofing material, and that roofing material will actually be the roof for my bee shelter, my winter bee shelter. So I already have it, but as eccentric as I am, I'm going to do the same thing with that metal as I did with the bunny bungalow. Yeah, it's the same metal. It came from the same project. It came from the same resource. I painted it green, yep. So all my outbuildings will match. And by the way, that honeybee figure on the side of the bee barn, I'm gonna maybe resource some wood or sheet metal, and I'm gonna cut it out and paint it and make it a queen bee. That's what I'm going to do. And then on the front of on the door of the bee barn, I'm going to make these little cell structures, and on each cell I'm going to have a different level of the progress of a bee. You'll have the egg, you have the larva, you'll have a bee, a baby bee, and a bee emerging from the cell. So I'm just going to do that on the bee barn because I'm artistic, I'm eccentric, and I want things to look neat because I enjoy my place. I really enjoy my environment. Not this. This thing is going to the dump. We're taking the dryer to the recyclers. That was a boo-boo. I was moving my daughter over and she had a washer and dryer. This slipped out of the back of the truck as we came up the hill, and it took a tumble and it bent and broke, and there it sits. So I told her I will replace her dryer with, because this was a used dryer, I'll replace her dryer with a used dryer once she gets resettled, because I told her you may get into a home that has gas instead of electric. So wait until you get into the new home and we'll determine what kind to purchase for you and get you set up with a new dryer or a used dryer that's either gas or electric. See, I'm trying to be a good dad, nice and responsible. But anyway, all 4 of my resource piles. This is the other side of homesteading or housekeeping. Everybody has it, even if it's just a little drawer in your kitchen. Everybody has a little bit of a junk pile. And mine might be a little bit more junkier than most people. Well, it's good usable resource material. The stuff that I can't use that is just absolute junk, I haul to the dump. I don't keep it. It's all hauled to the dump. This is all resource material. The dryer would have been gone a long time ago if my truck wouldn't have been broke down. It still broke down. Hopefully I'll get it back this week. I had to buy one of those new brain electronic module components, the computer for the truck. So we got that purchased, got it delivered. It's across the street at my neighbor's house, who is a master mechanic. He used to have a mechanics business, and he's working on my vehicle right now. And then we'll get that, then I'll invite him over and have him select some meat rabbits for his dinner table because he asked about them. And that's just neighbor helping neighbor, and maybe doing a little bit of bartering there to pay him back for the labor and what he's putting into my truck too. We'll see. Anyway, that's homesteading. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Mountains of the Pacific Northwest, geographically located west-southwest of Cradle Lake National Park. Yeah, sometimes it gets cold up here. We have a shorter growing season than most people, so I'm having to make do with what I've got. Now I got a greenhouse. Please subscribe, click that bell icon, that'll alert you to new videos as I do upload them. Check out my other videos on the greenhouse, the garden, the building projects, and developing everything around me. I show a series of videos on how I purchased a property cheap, how I resourced all the material and built all the outbuildings for either cheap or free. Yeah. And the most costly items, how I raise the livestock to generate the revenue to be able to purchase those. And of course, my estate cleanups. There's a whole bunch of videos down there you can check into and just see how I did it. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up, like the show, and always remember, be safe and always be kind. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next episode, all right? Bye-bye now.